Hello and welcome back to Success is Never Accidental, the show where we get to explore strategies for success and we get to interview some highly successful people. My guests today are the amazing Caroline Stanbury and her husband, Sergio Carrallo. Caroline is a very successful businesswoman, originally from the UK and working and living in Dubai for many years. And she has many, many business ventures. And many of you will know her from her reality TV shows, Ladies in London and The Real Housewives of Dubai. And Sergio Carrallo was the professional football player for Real Madrid and then subsequently some teams in the United States. And now has a very successful podcast and is involved in numerous business ventures in Dubai and elsewhere. So delighted to help me welcome Caroline Stanbury and Sergio Carrallo. Hi, Caroline and Sergio, and welcome to Success is Never Accidental, the show where we get to explore different strategies for success. Thank you both for hanging out with us today and giving us some of your insights and experiences. You guys come from very different backgrounds. Caroline, like me, you come from the UK, a successful businesswoman and working and living in Dubai. And Sergio, you come from Madrid in España. ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien.
Mi hijo vivió en Valencia durante 7 años. So
No me diga que
I
bueno.
speak a little Spanish. So you come from Madrid and you were a professional footballer. So your paths have been very, very different. Could you each share with us what success means to you and really how you define success?
You want to start or should I start? For me, I think personally success means for me and for us, I think freedom. Just the freedom of really being able to just, do anything that we feel at any moment, at any time, just travel and see the world and being able to just, be free.
I say freedom is the most expensive thing you can ever buy. So I think for us, it's actually just exactly providing the lifestyle that is your dream lifestyle. We can get up and go whenever we want. We work from home. We see our children. We see our animals. And, we get to visit all the places that we want to go to. I mean, the next month is crazy traveling. And I think that really is what drives us.
And it's amazing actually how we kind of look, waiting for that moment. So we really work, when we are here in order to get that as a reward for us.
Today has been the most manic day ever. Literally one of the country's big plastic surgeons was just in my house before I got on with you. And we've been doing all the architecture meetings for the build in Bali this morning, and I'm building a masterclass. So I've got some girls staying here at the moment with me doing that. We're spinning.
We're like non-stop.
And then we jumped on the calls with all of you. So, success looks like hard work.
But we love what we do. That's why it doesn't feel like,
That's where the freedom part comes in, isn't it? When you're actually doing things that you love doing. But Caroline, you really hit the knob there when you say it's really hard work. You have to be very focused, and you guys are moving between so many different contracts and ventures that you have to be really on your game. Many of my clients actually work in the public sector in the health and social care industry, and it's just getting tougher all the time because of scarcity of resources, increase in demand, and then and really just a challenge in keeping staff motivated. So what would you say to leaders about motivating themselves and strategies for keeping staff motivated?
Well, I mean, going into big companies, it's always hard to motivate a team because everyone's an individual, right? So I think when, I'm looking at very successful people and the ones that have been in corporate worlds and they kind of motivate themselves. In fact, I did an interview last night with a young girl who was an accountant. an assistant to an accountant, so like the lowest of the low. And she decided that she wanted to become a partner, or how would she get there? And there were so many people in between her and where she wanted to go. So she read how to become the best accounting assistant ever, to make the partner see her, you know, really like to pick her. And so she saw that the partner arrived at 6 a.m. and left at 11 a.m. So she started getting there at 5:30 a.m. and left at 11 a.m. 11 p.m. whether she had work or not. Until one day he did see that she was there on her own and chose her over everybody else. So as a team, I think, you know, it's not losing heart and knowing what your job is and knowing that what you're doing. I mean, in the healthcare sector, it's an incredible, rewarding job and something that we all need, and should, as far as I'm concerned, they deserve more compensation than soccer players and everybody else out there. I still can't get my head round why they're not celebrated more. But on the other hand, you need to always understand that the only person that's going to save you is you. So there are plenty of places, you know, you don't have to stay where you're unhappy either. There is private healthcare. There is looking after elderly. There is, I mean, I live in the Middle East. There are a lot of children that need help and need nurses and help. And so it's motivating yourself to better yourself or to get the job of your dreams within your sector, because there are.
And if you find something that you love, you know, within your sector, it doesn't matter the level, you know, you are inside that company. You have to take that as you own the company, it has CEO role, and then it will help you to grow. Because I think, you know, the people that they love what they do, they really, you know, do that with passion, and they help them to grow.
And you get too stuck, I think, at why you can't get to the top, or why you can't better yourself.
Yeah, I think some really important points there. First of all, if you're not doing something that you actually love, look around and try and find something that is more aligned to your values and skills and things you enjoy. And the second point was be noticed, you know, be the best version of yourself in whatever role you're doing, so that you do actually get noticed, and get noticed because you're adding value all the time. You mentioned about the remuneration for footballers, but life as a young man isn't easy, I think, these days. And also professional football is very, very competitive, was very, very competitive. Sergio, what were some of your strategies for being resilient when things didn't always go according to plan?
I mean, honestly, it didn't go according to plan most of the time. So I always had to kind of like try to find a strategy or like something to look forward to for the next days. Because, you know, sometimes you train, and then, you know, at the end of the day, your biggest day is the weekend, and you don't play the weekend. So then you're trapped on that situation. But one of my biggest, you know, strategies, it was just like to not really close my eyes just only about soccer. It was just open a little bit, you know, my hand and see different options, and start investing from an early stage, and look up, you know, different opportunities that you know will allow soccer, you know, to open those opportunities, you know. So it was kind of like to just always have different options in the table, not only focusing one thing.
Exactly. And Caroline, you're a very high profile figure. How do you protect your children's privacy and try to ensure that they have some sort of normality, despite all the media attention?
Well, you can see, I mean, I think one of my biggest triggers is when people go, where are your children? Well, they're in my house. It's, you know, we were laughing because at Christmas we were going to do a family picture around the tree, and we both looked at each other and, God, that's going to cost us a fortune.
It's impossible.
No way, because I'd have to bribe them all individually. So, you know, anyone that's got teenagers and half a brain understands that kids don't do anything at this age that they don't want to, or they don't want to do, or unless they're bribed. So, you know, I think they choose what they want to do and what they don't want to do.
Yeah, and you allow them that freedom, going back to your earlier point, that freedom to be individual. So any final tips about work-life balance? You guys have a really hectic schedule in life. Any advice on maintaining, you know, work-life integration?
Well, we haven't got there yet because, like, you know, sometimes I'm off and then other times I'm on, but I don't think anyone's really got that worked out, or we'd be, you know. But I can tell you that on Sunday we're off to Ziggy Bay, just the two of us for 3 days, which is in Oman, and I'm going to try and switch off the phone at least for an hour.
There's no secret strategy, but I would say be open for change. If things doesn't work or they go your way, just, you know, be open for like change, you know.
Just to relax,
Yeah,
you know, like,
slow
you
down.
know, just saying, how do we balance our work life?
How do we balance?
Yes,
Yeah, so
no. So it's like, sorry, sometimes he doesn't understand the question.
no, but if things, you know, like we get hectic and, you know, like lots of things happens in the middle, you just, you know,
We take
relax.
me time. We like to do things for us. So we'll go to the movies. We like to go for drives. We walk. We do a lot of the gym in the morning. We schedule that sort of 3 to 4 times a week, and that changes everything.
We try to make sure like we have some, like, you know, like free
mental
time.
wellness. And I'm starting my own retreat soon, so that I think for people like me, you know, that we can. I've really enjoyed doing these things where I meet like-minded women and men, and then we end up, you know, you end up sort of doing these masterminds where you sort of have
Brainstorm everybody, you know.
but then you have time together. So, you know, I'm doing one with JT now.
So thank you so much for hanging out with us and spending time, and for all your insights. You guys take care.
Take
Thank
care.
you,
Nice
bye-bye.
to meet you.
So what an interesting interview, and very clear, some very clear insights into what success involves. It involves hard work, but it's easier to be successful if you're doing what you love. So are we thinking about, is your current lifestyle, career, home life, is it all aligned with your values? Are you getting the satisfaction that you need from your current circumstances? And if not, what can you change? So success is also about choice, the freedom of being able to choose. And as Caroline said, sometimes if you feel stuck, you have to have another look at what is it you're doing. How can you add value within your existing circumstances? Or do you need to change something in order to be more at peace with yourself? So check out Caroline Stanbury and Sergio Carrallo on Instagram, and particularly check out their new podcast, which has some great tips about goal setting and also about visioning and vision boarding. Neither of them actually have had an easy path to success. Both have had to reinvent themselves, and both have had both personal and career challenges to overcome. So let's look at some of the ways that you can be more resilient, because the path isn't always straightforward. We're always going to encounter bumps in the road. So look at, well, what can we learn from those bumps in the road, and how can we avoid making the same mistakes again? So thank you for joining me on Success is Never Accidental. See you again soon.